Well, predict and plan and sense and respond refer not necessarily to what we do. So this is not about saying no to planning or even predicting. And nor is it saying yes to only sensing and responding. So this is not like, we've got to get rid of all the planning and all the predicting and we're just responding, we're just sensing and responding. It's a more dialectically nuanced notion than that sense and respond is a kind of mindset. It's a way of making sense of the world, a way of making meaning, in which we no longer rely on the predictive nature of reality. So for the most part, we as human beings understand the world innately as that which we can predict and that with respect to which we can make plans. And when the predictions don't pan out and the plans fail, we become upset. And it's really a product of the Newtonian metaphysical worldview that we've all been born into, that we all wake up into every day, like a party that got started long before we came along, and we find ourselves in that party and we don't know that we're in that party, but the party that we're in, or the sort of metaphysical cultural environment in which we find ourselves in, is one that presumes a kind of causal linearity. And underlying that or expressing that is this notion that given certain circumstances or certain things that we can observe, we can predict, and then on the basis of that prediction, make plans. And that is essentially a mindset. It's a quality of meaning making that is there in the background. And for the most part, most of us live in that sort of land, that territory of metaphysical assumptions. Sense and respond is a different operating system, you could say. So that predict and plan is a kind of operating system that worked pretty well, or it seemed to work pretty well in a pre-VUCA world, in a world that was apparently more predictable and more stable. But it's no longer an able operating system in the face of the unpredictability, the volatility, the uncertainty, the ambiguity that is characteristic of today's world, all of which calls for literally an operating system upgrade, an operating system in terms of our consciousness, in terms of our sense-making capacity, an upgrade in the complexity with which we're able to make sense of the world. And that upgrade moves into what I have been calling, and other people call it this, by the way. I haven't coined the term, but sense and respond. Just to add one last little piece to that most people, when they talk about sense and respond, they talk about organizational capability, like having structures and systems and processes and all of that renders companies better able to respond to change, in the kind of lean startup way of understanding that. And the way that I use the term sense and respond is closer to the way that I've been describing it here, which has to do with consciousness, which has to do with individual and collective sense making. And the premise in this work is that we can't really have business agility, not really, until we can get to human systems and consciousness or inner agility.